Hello everyone to the second semi-final of Historical Rivalries Cup. We have come a long way and so have these players, so I'm very excited to see them duke it out here. Last semi-finals was really good, I highly recommend it, but I think this has the potential to be even better. Now, here in the East we have LilTrouble playing as the Franks. Purple is pretty good for Franks. I mean, blue is obviously better, but Noelle stole that, so as far as the second choice, I think purple is the way to go. Kind of makes you the Burgundian Franks in many ways. And Roxy here, playing as Hammy, or however she wants us to produce that choice, gets one straggler wood and then leaves. Okay, fair enough. I guess she was just looking for a place to actually put the Lammer camp. Fair enough. Playing as the Britons, and yeah, does the same thing again here. Cyan is not the ideal color, but of course Ofelia had stolen red, so not so much to do there. And speaking of Noelle and Ofelia, we got them here in the West. Noelle playing as blue Bulgarians and Ofelia as red Magyars. Now, Franks and Britons, we've seen them in most Arabia games so far. I think at least close to 50%, I would say. If not a good bit over. I'm not entirely sure, haven't crunched numbers. But I also think they've lost most games on here. So I wonder if people are putting a little bit too much team game power into them. At least faith in their team game power. Definitely if you're playing 1v1 Arabia and you pick Franks, you have like a 60% chance of winning just alone. So I can understand the desire, but I wonder if it actually translates in team games. Certainly, most people seem to have been picking... most people who haven't been picking Franks and Britons seem to have been picking good matchups to go into them. Bulgarians and Magyars, are they one of those? Not necessarily. I mean, okay, what's really scary about Bulgarians is their early game. They can come in super fast with men-at-arms and just start battering you over the heads. Cheap upgrades. Oh, that's an unfortunate goat to take, especially when you're getting the boar at the same time. Gonna do TC trick. Okay, never mind. I guess probably didn't want to do that in the semifinals of a tournament. Fair enough. I think that's a respectable decision. But yeah, Bulgarians are super scary in the super early game. Then they kind of meh out for a bit in the mid game up until they can get like stirrup knights. And once they can get into elite conics spammed from multiple crepos, they are again super dangerous. But you know where Britons and Franks really excel? Because it's the mid-game, so I think there's a considerable window there to use that relative lack of an eco bonus for Bulgarians to actually get a lot of power in there. Magyars is kind of the same way, right? They don't actually have an eco bonus apart from cheaper light cav and getting attack upgrades for free. They could also start men-at-arms, and that's going to make it difficult for Franks who generally want to start scouts, right? I mean, men-at-arms do a pretty good job of countering that. But I also want to see if Magyars, like, both of these civs have good cavalry archers. Magyars have arguably the best post-imp ones. But before that, they are completely generic. So, we'll see if that's actually something they want to go into. It's gonna be kind of dangerous against Briton, Briton foot archers. Oh no. Noelle, no! Okay, I feel bad for highlighting that now. I mean, she's gonna be fine. Like, she only lost to one. I've seen people lose 2 boars like that, so... Yeah, no, she's gonna be okay, but I'm gonna guess there's... I feel like Noelle with Bulgarians probably wanted to pull off a fairly early strike, whether it was with scouts or men-at-arms, just in general utilizing cheap blacksmith and stuff. Oh my god, is she gonna lose her sheep too? No, it looks like Roxy's just gonna leave them. Fair enough. But yeah, with the lost boar, that's gonna make that a lot harder, and it does look like Noelle's gonna be the last one to go up. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. Roxy's now getting Loom, and it's gonna be the third to click up by the looks of it. Ofelia got up about a second before little T did. Those Frank berries coming in clutch. Just gonna start pre-walling. Ophelia's kind of marked herself in this tournament as someone who is very aggressive early, and then, like, once she's done her early aggression, she just booms. She goes, like, 6 town centers and just booms. And then she, like, starts flooding infinite amounts of units. So I can definitely see why you would want to set up these palisade walls. Palisade walls are arguably the strongest counter to scouts, honestly. It's gonna be difficult to full wall this, like you're gonna have to pull a lot of walls. But it's not unreasonable. It's definitely not entirely unreasonable to do so. The question is if you can do it in time, because Ophelia's gonna be up in about 30 seconds. Now, I don't actually know who wins 1v1 in a scout war between a Magyar and a Frank. I think Magyars might come out a little bit ahead, especially when you factor in the fact that they cost a little bit less, but they have no eco bonus, so realistically Franks should be able to propel early farms and early berries a little bit better. Yeah, immediate stables from both of them. Looks like Ofelia isn't going to do any men-at-arms memes. I think she might be taking it a bit more seriously now that she's in semifinals, but you never know. More walls coming in here, and Noelle is halfway up now, so she is gonna start going for militia, it looks like. Yeah, had to start going for farms very early, which is not the best feeling in the world, but it's not crazy terrible either. Archery range now going up for Roxy, 2 of them in fact, so that's Britain archery ranges. They produce stuff 20% faster, so it's gonna be a lot of archers, and given how late Noelle's men-at-arms are gonna arrive, that's bad. That's like, she's gonna have 2 or 3 archers by the time those men-at-arms arrive, and that's not gonna do much. I think that's just gonna end up being wasted resources. Some scouts out here just frolicking, doing their scouting business, and not attacking. Ofelia pings that there is a lone villager out here walling. It does have loom, but Ophelia's in feudal age with that extra Magyar attack, and I think that villager is very much doomed, but... Oh, okay, hold up. I think, if I had to guess, I think that Ofelia was worried about the town center. Yeah, she doesn't know where it is. She sees these walls, and like, there's no reason, like, it very much could be that the town center is right here. So let's that one go, and it looks like Roxy's just gonna commit to somewhat smaller walls, seeing now that these, let's see, that these men-at-arms are coming in here, and gonna start bashing down the wall, and just gonna casually put up house and blacksmith to wall that off. So nothing to worry about there. Just gonna start being a bit cautious here. The scout war should begin around this point. Ofelia can't find her way in, and her scouts are a little bit divided, 1 up north and 2 down south. LilTrouble's in here, and 1 scout at home actually, and oh, she's gonna take some good TC damage here, but runs away, still got most of her health left, so still all 3 scouts are there. Would like to see potentially a spearman coming out here. Looks like there's already 1 for Ofelia. Yeah, right in here. Gonna make it very hard to actually hit this wood line. Oh, but they're gonna charge in, gets a donkin, and another donkin. And that's a lot of HP lost, so now it's looking a lot more dangerous. If she turns around here, she can take the scout, but she might actually lose a scout of her own in the process, depending on where Ofelia has targeted exactly. Now, turn around, no! Use the hills! Oh, don't let the hills be used against you. Yeah, she's after the weakened scout, and looks like she's gonna get... Yeah, there you go. 1 for 1. I think no one is too sad about that. I think, in fact, the little team might even be happy about that. Ofelia finally gets that 1 vill that she wanted all along, and looks like she's gonna get away with it too. Takes a little bit of damage on her scout, but not too much. Now donking over here, and Noelle's Bulgarian swordsmen are finally gonna come around here, but they're up against archers, and that's not the... Okay, that's very awkward, but looks like she's gonna run away again, and I mean, even with damage in here, I don't think she has to be too worried. These archers should take down that scout. Yeah, just as it runs away. Gets the final kill there. Men-at-arms, not upgraded in any way, but fleshing isn't quite in yet for Roxy. And berries are out, and they're gonna get a little bit of damage in here on these villagers, but not enough to actually kill, so... I don't think Roxy's too worried about that, but she is losing some over here, some of her archers, even mixing in a skirm. Probably ready for archers, or maybe she just didn't have enough resources for a sec to actually keep up production. Gonna have to use the vills to actually scare off that scout while she gets the rest of her archers in position. Yeah, just some Frank versus Magyar stuff going on down here. Frank gets the win, as they have a tendency of doing. Oh, snipe, snipe, snipe. Snipe, snipe! Sniper, no sniping. Oh, little T. Don't put them on auto scout. Okay, she's just bringing in reinforcements. I mean, that could have gone either way. Well, no, actually, there's... No, actually, no, yeah, because 6 attacks. So yeah, that would actually have been a dead scout if Ofelia turned around and got the first hit. And just chasing, gets the slap there, and Ofelia no longer have scouts. So LilTrouble now and Roxy have a considerable advantage. Noelle is sending a Veil forward. Is there going to be a tower rush? Like, it's not really the time to do it, but if she gets away with it, that could be like a lost wood line over here, for at least for a while. Or she's just gonna pull it back. That might have been an accident. Yeah, a tower's now gonna up for Ofelia over here, worried about incoming damage from LilTrouble and perhaps more directly Roxy, because I mean that tower isn't gonna do too much to stop scouts, but the Spearman is. Castle Age now coming in from Ofelia, and shortly thereafter from LilTrouble. Let's see. Roxy still has a way to go, and Noelle might actually click up before her. Getting Wheelbarrow now. And is Ofelia housed? Oh, they had to stop for a second. I will not note, by the way, if LilTrouble does something weird this game, I believe she's playing this at 6 AM roughly. They had a lot of trouble trying to find a good time that works for everyone. I think this is from like... So, Ophelia's in Europe. I think Noelle and Roxy are from the US, or at least North America. And Lil T is from Australia, so they're kind of all over the place, and yeah, it makes things difficult, so I have a lot of sympathy and a lot of admiration for LilTrouble actually just sucking it up and deciding to play it this time. Some scouts out here. I mean, Ofelia doesn't want to give up the pressure entirely, just because she's kind of outmatched and at this exact moment. LilTrouble's scouts just forward here, and it looks like Noelle and Roxy go up at about the same time. I will say I think Roxy's gonna get a lot more out of her up than Noelle is. Setting up another barracks. That's interesting that she's gonna try to commit to infantry. Getting supplies? She's gonna go longswords. I mean, if you're gonna go longswords with any civ, Bulgarians is definitely up there. Getting some men-at-arms now after she completes supplies, getting forging, already has scale mail armor. Lil T and Ofelia are both in castle. And oh, that's iron casting scout cav now. And there's a hole! Oh, that's gonna hurt so much. She gets the rest of the quick walls off by the looks of it, yeah. But, you can't be happy with that, I don't think. And Ofelia is merciless, gonna try to get some more. That one's just gonna get away, gets a Duncan from the Spearman and some good TC fire, but there's a hole in this wood line too. And over here is... Okay, Ophelia's just gonna let that one go, doesn't want to lose these scouts, might be able to get some more annoyance in at, for example, Roxy's base. But Roxy is well enough prepped for that, and it looks like Lil T is gonna get to not quite clear up, but these scouts are now very low. Second TC coming in from Lil T, and the same thing happening for Roxy, and the same thing happening for Ofelia. Even Noelle is getting in on the action, so we're all gonna go to TC here, and just gonna try to keep up this little scout war, I think. These knights now starting to look around the edges here, seeing if they can get in, but I would like to see... yeah, there we go. She's deciding to send them forward, just gonna leave some cav to deal with that in the background, and then gonna send them forward. And it looks like Ofelia is gonna commit to Magyar Knights for now. Got Bloodlines, got Iron Casting, of course, for free from Magyars. They're up against Frank Knights that didn't have to research Bloodlines. But I would like to see Chain Barding. I would like to see Chain Barding for sure. Frank should definitely have the better boom, free farm upgrades and everything. But we'll see. I mean, okay, Ophelia's already engaging her full boomer mode here, so have to be ready for that. Gets Wheelbarrow now, it's a good pickup. And Ophelia's just scouting around here. This could be an uphill fight if they run into each other, but it looks like they're just going to be passing. Roxy is here and Noelle isn't. But apparently they're not going to notice. Or maybe they do now? Looks like Ophelia's caught on with her Scout Cav. And it looks like Roxy should see these too. No ballistics quite yet, of course. Just getting her own eco upgrades. And, I mean, this Frank Force should be enough to kill this Magyar Force, even with the Iron Casting. And, I mean, it's easier for LilTrouble to get the upgrade, or reinforcements, excuse me, in here. And can, of course, also just rely on Roxy's crossbows here. It looks like Ophelia's doing some decent work here too. Going with longsword catapults. I've heard me talk about this build before. The problem is that Britain crossbows can take out mangonels. Roxy just... It is taxing her APM though. That's a bigger thing. She needs to focus the Onager, or the mangonel, excuse me. Because if she doesn't, she loses all of her crossbows. She totally can. Like, she doesn't even need to split if she doesn't want to. Just because of the Britain extra range. But it is dangerous, that's for sure, if that Onager gets close enough. And there's some more villagers coming forward. Maybe another siege workshop? Yeah, Roxy's playing quite cautiously here. But this has a lot of a food investment from Noelle. It might be hurting her eco. She is at 49 vills. LilTrouble is still a little bit farther behind. But the question is not necessarily how much... Ooh, loses 2 crossbows there. The problem isn't necessarily how much eco you have, or how much military you have, it's how effective it is. And theoretically, if Roxy just microed a lot here, she could take down this mangonel and this entire force without any problem. But they're taking the safe path. Again, I imagine there's some lag just from the fact that they're so far apart. So they're just gonna get LilTrouble to get in here, take it out with the knights, and then start bombarding it with crossbows. I mean, this is a very strong counter to what Noelle is trying here. Coming in with a ram now, as well as another villager. Has she set her gather point forward or something? And there's a fight over here between LilTrouble and Ofelia. It's close, but it looks like Frank Knights are gonna win, but they each lose 1, although for LilTrouble it's just a Scout Cav. More Knights coming in here, and it still looks like they're gonna win, even with this occasional Spearman trickling in. Frank Knights should win, but has to retreat now, because this is an overwhelming force. Good distraction though, and Lil T is just building up more Knights. Roxy's getting to a good amount of crossbows and just putting up a 4 TC. Ophelia's already been on free for a little while now. But it looks like eco-wise, I think Ofelia Noelle, I was about to say Noelia, they're definitely coming out ahead in eco. LilTrouble murdered those villagers! Oh no. Yeah, I can't imagine perception is maybe your strongest attribute when you've had like... I don't know when she went to bed, but still, getting up at 6 AM is brutal. But yeah, as for the moment, it looks like Noelle's push has stalled off and she's just gone back. She's gonna get into stable production now. It's definitely not unreasonable to think that Ofelia Noelle could just overwhelm with more knights. They're behind right now in terms of score, but they're actually ahead in vills, so if they keep a hold of that. A stone wall is coming up here, but I don't think it's gonna be done in time. She didn't wall the actually exposed area first. Oh, this could be a disaster. These are so many knights, and not enough crossbows to actually fight them. Lil T is not in position to help right away. Coming over quickly, but that's gonna be a lot of lost vills and potentially a lot of lost crossbows too. There's a defensive siege workshop here for Roxy, probably expecting more from Noelle, but Noelle actually, yeah, hopped off the idea to to continue that push pretty quickly. Getting a good choke point here with TC fire from all those villagers, but it's still hurting. I mean, Magyar Knights, they do hurt. But Lil T is here now, should be able to clean these up, and hopefully should be able to go for an immediate counterattack. I mean, this is one problem we've been seeing so far when people have been playing up against Ofelia, is that they don't hit her. They're scared of like what she's doing, because she's I'm not sure if she's the highest ranked player in the tourney, but she's up there. And so they're worried that if they go up against her, she's just gonna ruin them. But one of the reasons she does so well is because she booms her brains out. Look at this. She's Magyars, they have no eco bonus, and she's still just going 4 TCs. So yeah, we're total 7 TCs for Ophelia's team against 6 for LilTrouble and Roxy. So I would really like to see them, like, obviously you can't know in this moment who has the military lead and what exactly they're doing, but at some point you kind of gotta go forward just to see. You know, you might take some damage on occasion, sure, but you can't just sit back and hope like this, because if you're wrong, there's a 4th TC coming up from Roxy now, which is good. But yeah, if you're wrong and they're booming more than you, then you're just gonna lose in the long run if you don't do anything, and it looks like that's gonna happen anyway. These palisade walls are gonna disintegrate, and Roxy needs, or LilTrouble needs to respawn really quickly. Houses are coming up, can she hammer them in time? This one isn't hammered! Oh, she didn't use this one, another in, and that's another 14, 15 knights about that. Inside this farm eco. They're gonna get onto the gold too, and she's gonna have to pull back her forces again. They keep getting in, and she keeps being unable to actually, like, neither LilTrouble nor Roxy can actually get any damage done, because these raids keep coming in from Ofelia, and they keep doing damage, and they keep forcing them to come back with their forces. Roxy now does have ballistics, so it's gonna make it a lot easier to actually kill these knights. But, I mean, there's not enough of them to really be that effective. LilTrouble is still gonna have to bring home this Knight Force. And all the while, Ophelia's just booming away. Untouched, essentially. Yeah, it was really unfortunate that she didn't quite get in time to hammer that one house. Deleting some foundations right now just to make sure she actually has the combat width to actually take fights. Fletching coming in from Ofelia, so might be looking at an Arbalest or Cabocher switch. University at the same time. Yeah, I mean, Magyar Cabochers are some of the best, and Pikemen coming in now from Noelle, which is fair enough. I don't think there's enough crossbows out there to reasonably deal with Pikemen in a good amount of time. But there's a lot of knights here, and in this number, Pikemen aren't going to do a lot. But in the long run, massing enough pikemen could definitely be important. Bodkin Arrow coming in now too. More stables though, so maybe she just wants the Bodkin Arrow for her TCs, knowing that Frankish Knights could come into raid. It's quite dangerous a position here. LilTrouble is still a bit hesitant to move in, and Imperial Age has been clicked for both Roxy and for Ofelia. There's some dangerous stuff going on here for sure. Magyars do get access to Paladins, and they do get Blast Furnace right away. They also can just go into Cavalry Archers. Their Cavalry Archers are some of the best in the game. I will keep saying it because it's very true. But they do need to wait until Imperial Age until they're anything more than generic. But on the other hand, I mean, she's getting a castle up now, so she can get Yeoman Roxy can. And Britain Arbalests with 11 range, dealing 10 damage per shot. That's a lot of power, but these ones probably gonna get cleared up. Some micro, although these are very damaged knights, so with some target selection, yeah, there you go. This target selection is actually not the worst train in the world, and Roxy comes out of it with 5 crossbows. Noelle makes an attempt to try to get in here, but doesn't quite manage to, and just pikemen. Just mass pikemen at this point. That's gonna do some good work for sure. And I mean, Ophelia's knight numbers are just rising, and not long from now they're gonna be Cavalier. And they're gonna be Cavalier with Blast Furnace pretty much immediately. Plate Barding probably coming in shortly afterwards. And at any point, if she wants to, she can just switch into Cav Archers, and they should do well against pretty much everything here. Foot Archers tend to be good against Cavalry Archers, but only to a point. Once you get Parthian Tactics and Ring Archer Armor, Cavalry Archers are actually quite good. It gets a little bit fuzzier, just because of recurve bow, but also just because of Britain extra range, but lacking thumb ring. So it's complicated, but yeah, Cavalier, Plate Barding, Chemistry even, 2-man saw. I think she's ready if she needs to go into Cavalry Archers. No No castle yet for her though, which is a little worrying, I would say. I think if she really wanted to go into Cav Archers, that's something she would try to get up pretty soon. She does have stone, yeah, some stone workers over here. Noelle setting up a castle on this hill is a good position, but it's still a lot of her eco is exposed. She would need a good amount of walls to wall it. She has a neutral gold essentially in her back pocket here, so that's good, but it is quite exposed. And here comes the Ofelia Cavalier plate barding armor. Absolute chad of an army, and I mean that's... It's not just palisade walls that are gonna melt at this point. With this amount, houses, blacksmiths, anything else you're using to walling is gonna die. Knights are coming in here, they're Frankish knights, but they are still quite a bit inferior to Magyar Cavalier. They're getting some support from crossbows though, but is that enough? Ofelia decides to leave. She has clicked the paladin upgrade, so before long that's gonna come in, and that's gonna be a disaster. Noelle's on the move with her pikes, while Ophelia's raiding with her cavalier on the backside. Can this knight army actually work as a meat shield? Noelle's an imp now. She's sending forward her battering rams, getting a halberdier now. This could be a deceptively dangerous army coming in here. It all depends on if Roxy can actually take them out, but that's a lot of pikes. And while she's taking them out, she's gonna get slaughtered by Magyar Cavalier. Cavalier coming in from LilTrouble now. She's gonna have to beat a retreat though. And Roxy's crossbows get wiped up. And Halberdier's gonna be in 5 seconds. Paladin in 50. I mean, she can maybe take a fight here on the castle fire, but even that's not great. She doesn't really have... She doesn't have bracer, she doesn't have chemistry yet, I don't believe. And that's quite the squish. I mean, actually taking a surprisingly okay fight, and some halberdiers are coming out there from Roxy. I mean, both Britain and Bulgarian halberdiers are completely generic, but at this point, Noelle's been committed to halberdiers for a lot longer than Roxy has. And paladins are in, Magyar paladins. You don't see them every day, but they are strong, they are fully upgraded, and they get those blast furnace upgrades for free. Roxy calls the GG, the paladins are in, there's just nothing they can do against those levels of raids, and the successive GGs are called. Wow. Yeah, quite an impressive game. Like, it was definitely close. I could see a lot of hesitancy from LilT and Roxy to actually go in. I think when you're up against Ofelia, you kind of have to pressure her, because else she's gonna go into a mega boom. And when she goes into a mega boom, she comes out swinging with Magyar Paladins and a lot of other very scary things. Still, good game, and we'll be moving on to LilT and Roxy's home map in just a second. Let's see. Okay, so, welcome to Valley. Now, first glance, you're gonna think this looks pretty much like Arabia, but there's a big difference. You do get normal resources around here, like you have your main gold, 2 smaller ones. You should have the same amount, like you have 2 boars, you should have the same amount of herdables too, I believe. In fact, she's already collected all of them, so that was a good one for LilT. But the big difference is this massive little dried up riverbed in the center. Also, a lot of space here actually without any water, interestingly enough. Now, apart from just getting a lot of shorefish from the ponds and ibex on this map variation around them, this is dockable. You can dock in these ponds and you can build ships, and you can actually navigate across this because this is considered beach terrain. We saw that as caravels coming out in, I think it was the TB2 World Cup. So, you never know. We have Noelle on Vikings, so longbows doesn't seem like a crazy idea, honestly. But yeah, apart from Noelle on Vikings, we've got Ofelia on Celts, so we've got 2 very strong infantry civs here. Vikings can of course fill a pretty typical archer role. Celts are complicated. They can go for archers, but just because of their eco bonus being so strong, they get so much extra wood. But they can't, like, when it comes to Celts, up until Imperial Age, you're pretty much just doing stuff that your Civ isn't good at, but can still afford because of that extra eco. So you'll be seeing knights, you'll be seeing monks, you'll be seeing archers, or at least you might. We'll see how it actually goes, because Ofelia is Ofelia. But yeah, typically you can see all of them, despite the fact that Celts kind of suck at all of those. Like, they lack Bloodlines, Plate Barding armor, they lack Thumb Ring, Arbalest, Bracer, Ring Archer armor. Their monks are pretty bad. I don't remember exactly what upgrades they lack, but they're definitely not great. So yeah, you have a lot of options just because of what is this house? Ofelia. Was she was not about to be housed either. She could have just pulled from lumberjacks. What is... Okay, I'm not looking at that anymore. We're done talking about Celts. I'm angry. On the other hand, we have another slightly unorthodox Civ combination. We've got Roxy playing Ethiopians and LilT playing Saracens. Now, both of these Civs are definitely quite good. Ethiopians are just kind of standard in a sense. They have acceptable infantry, like fully upgraded apart from Champion, although they get Shuttle Warriors. Free Pikeman, so a little bit better against Cav Civs in that sense, but mostly you're looking at Archers, you're looking at Siege. Only Civ in the game with a full Siege workshop, by the way, and includes Siege Engineers and their unique Tech Torsion engines, which increases splash damage. But the big thing you will generally see are fast firing Archers, which is super useful, super good, and tends to be their bread and butter. Now, Saracens is interesting, right? Because that's also what you see from Saracens. Now, for Saracens, it tends to be more on the fact that they have fully upgradable arbalests, and in fact, they're one of two Civs, along with Japanese, to get everything from the archery range. They get Hand Cannoneer, they get to have a Cavalry Archer, Power Fin Tactics, Elite Skirm, and Arbalest, and as well as all the upgrades for them. Now, it's a little bit awkward to go 2 Archers. Like, if the enemy commits to Siege in particular, that gets really awkward really fast. But what the other thing Saracens really excel at, they have a pretty wide tech tree, so you don't really need to pick anything. They have full blacksmith upgrades, for example. The biggest thing they lack is probably Cavalier and Halberdier. But that's an Imp. Up until then, you can do pretty much anything. And even in the Imp, you still have a lot of good choices. You have better camels, you have fully upgraded Hussar, you got Arbalest, pretty much a full gunpowder arsenal apart from Bomber Tower. But yeah, again, you generally don't want to see 2 separate archer players. The interesting thing about Saracens is that they contribute something very important, which is building damage to their teammate, and Ethiopians fire faster, so their archers are actually going to be very solid siege units. Not nearly as crazy as they used to be, at least for the Saracens themselves, or for, you know, my obsidian arrows. But definitely a considerable, like, it allows them to delay siege a lot. Ophelia's got forward here, putting up a barracks. No... Okay, I was just about to say no Celt shenanigans, but we are seeing a dock here. Now, so for those of you who don't know, for a while now you've been able to gather shorefish and deposit it at a dock with villagers. You can actually do it with meat too. Like, what you have to do is you have to shoot the deer, gather, and then just when they go to like want to go back to a town center or a mill to drop off, you click shorefish, and then they're fishermen, and then you can drop off at the dock. But yeah, forward dock, see if she actually does anything with this, is producing militia, and Roxy is starting up her own barracks. She's going to be in feudal in 30 seconds, going to be the last one to do so. That's 22 pop. But Ethiopians get the 100 food and 100 gold when they age up, so that's going to pay for fletching on its own. And with her wood, she can just make a bunch of make 2 archer ranges, make a bunch of archers, and this isn't going to do much. Now, I will say, Ofelia is right away getting up an archery range, and I'm guessing that there might be some skirmishers prepped for that strat. I like seeing the fact that both Ofelia and Noelle are going forward for the food in the middle. It's a lot of food, and in particular it saves you a lot of wood to not have to build this many farms. But it is exposed, and it definitely seems like LilTrouble and Roxy have taken the safer approach, and... oh, the scout's gonna survive. Almost gets battered down by villagers, but otherwise looks good. Archery range is coming up. It looks like Roxy's just gonna go for a single archery range. She only has 3 on gold right now. And it's just... Oh! I think Ofelia just noticed a little bit of a hole. And she's just gonna wait here until reinforcements arrive. Man-at-Arms is not coming in yet. In fact, she's just going for skirms. She has 1 archer and 2 skirms, as well as 1 backup militia over here. And Noelle's reducing Viking scouts. Vikings are probably the single worst stable civ in the game, for the civs that actually have stables. They lack husbandry, they lack bloodlines, they lack plate barding. But in feudal age, that doesn't matter too much, and I guess the idea is just you have so much food that you might as well just use a unit that only costs food. Some spearmen coming out right away from LilTrouble. In the long run, she'll want to switch to camels probably. Saracen's having very good camels. And over here, it looks like yeah, Roxy sees this, like, all of these are very low tier units, right? Like, it's a single archer, skirmishers, a very badly damaged scout cav. She's just gonna batter him down with villagers. She loses 1, and oh no, this one gets stuck on the outside? Oh no, that's actually kind of bad. Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. That's gonna be another villager lost. But she's not gonna fall too far behind by any means. Might even actually, if she notices this, she could just send it away and send these guys on a little bit of a chase. Now, skirmishers are a little bit complicated in feudal because you kind of need the armor to actually be seriously useful against archers with fletching. But Ophelia's housed, I believe that means. And, well, the other thing too is that I don't think Roxy doesn't have a blacksmith yet. So she can't get fletching, and honestly her ego is a little bit disturbed here by this whole thing. Needs a good amount of food to actually get up, or a good amount of wood to actually get a blacksmith out. Speaking of good amount of wood, Noelle! Why do you... What? What is she going for? Okay, she's starting to transfer on the wood, but that's a lot of wood! Especially when you don't even need farms, you kind of have an okay control of the middle. Some idle time over here, but we're not worrying too much about that. LilTrouble is just kind of booming away, but there are some threatening Viking scouts here. Just kind of surveying their domain here. Ophelia's is continuing to be annoying, but she has no upgrades, so once this blacksmith is up and once fletching is in, even skirmishers isn't gonna matter. You can just outrange them from behind these walls. This is quite a scrappy game so far, but in the meantime, Ofelia is getting a lot of good use out of the central food. I would kind of like to see the little team maybe move forward. Like she got down 1 scout here, just from Noelle running in under the TC. The other 3 are healthy, but she can just make some spearmen at home. She had some somewhere. I'm not sure where they've actually gone off to. Are they forward? Where are her military? Oh, there's one. Killed a single Ibex? Okay, fair enough, yeah. Looks like they're not really willing to actually go forward, but fletching is now in for both Ofelia and for Roxy, but I would say with some micro, I still say Roxy comes out ahead here just because faster firing archers and the fact that the skirmisher isn't gonna do too much without armor. But armor's coming in now. 10 seconds. Yeah, Roxy might have to be careful and mix in her own skirms here. Either that or just try to use her Ethiopian age up eco bonus to try to just mass as many archers she can, or try to go early castle. But definitely scrappy. Ofelia still. I wonder if this is on Hot Scout. It's on, what is it that? Yeah, 1 HP of course. I guess why wouldn't it be 1 HP? Ofelia just yeeting stuff for the market, probably looking to go up in just a second. And she's got a lot of gold she's got a lot on gold already. So might be looking into either just keeping up archer production, or gonna go do some type of Huang style knight and monk rush. Losing some more scouts here for Little T. Does some damage onto these villagers, but it's gonna have to run away. I mean, 2 spearmen. It's a little bit of an investment for Noelle, but it's gonna pay off. What? Noelle? Noelle, what is this? You have such pretty farms around your TC. What is this? One of them isn't even seeded yet, and they're so exposed. Yeah, LilT took down one spearman, and this other one is just patrolling so far around. That's one villager down. That should be a second in a second. The spearman is coming, but and there's gonna be some fight back here. Loses one scout. Should probably just leave now. I don't think you can get more scout kills. But okay, hold up. So they're pushing through here, taking down some damage, but Roxy has added in her own skirmishers. Ophelia's gonna come up to castle a lot earlier though, and crossbow Bodkin is so devastating in these social matchups. Especially now that she has a slightly larger mass. I mean, in terms of HP, it's actually, oh my god, it's the same amount exactly. Might be able to pick off a few here, that's good. I think once Roxy sees that Castle Age is in, she's just gonna try to commit. So yeah, Ophelia's already kind of leaning back, making sure she can keep some crossbows moving into Castle Age. Yeah, she's moving forward here, seeing if she can get a few snipes on here. Again, they're very low. She set them to attack here, so she loses their archer. Crossbow is not coming in yet, just eco upgrades. I'm very surprised to see that. Second archer range now coming in. Some more houses in the back. Okay, so she must have thought that was a mill, and then at some point realized it wasn't. Oh my. Yeah, the mill is here in the front, and another one over here. But that one used to be a house. So both Roxy and LilT are on their way up. Forward siege marshal from Ofelia, so there might be some serious pressure coming in here pretty soon. Gonna have some trouble on your hands, I think, Roxy. But with Saracen cavalry, especially cavalry perhaps, that could definitely do a lot of work. Noelle's here scouting with her Viking scouts. And yeah, I guess it looks like Ofelia is just gonna completely abandon the idea of trying to go for archery range units, so she's gonna get in here with knights. I mean, they don't get bloodlines and they haven't gotten chain barding yet, so they might actually die. Thankfully, because she hasn't invested in bodkin or crossbow or even elite scrum, she can actually get this market wall up here, Roxy, which is gonna put a lot of pressure, or is gonna avert a lot of pressure until this mangonel comes forward. The mangonel can range, but now so can these crossbows. The knights are in, there's a hole right here, and that's 3 crossbows right away dead! Oh, and Noelle responds to the call. They know now that they're in, and it's gonna be dangerous. What is LilT doing? She's gonna need some camels out here, could definitely mop all of this up. I mean, it's skirms, a mangonel, and knights. It's pretty much exactly what you'd want mass camels for. Yeah, this market isn't gonna go up anytime soon, and I mean, she's not gonna want to finish it anyway, right? Because she already has one. But, oh, this knight might actually get some good kills in here. No, gets sniped by the TC. Yeah, I mean, these aren't the best knights in the world exactly. There are still knights though. Some coming in from LilTrouble here. Now, as mentioned, Saracens don't actually get Cavalier, so in the long run, it's not something you want to stick to. But to save Roxy from this Celt pressure, it's a really good idea. But I still think camels would be better. In the meantime, Ofelia for once is not booming. I mean, Roxy's on 3 TCs, LilTrouble's staying on 1, Noelle's going to 2, but Ophelia's just on 1. She's trying to go for this full push in here, and she might get some good work out of it for sure. LilT's just gonna try to sacrifice this knight to get the Mangonel. I don't think it's gonna do it in time. Oh, actually just barely did. Second knight coming in here, but looking like it's gonna die. She doesn't have bloodlines yet, but she does have 1 extra armor upgrade, so they're gonna punch a little bit better than those Celts will. Some skirmishers here just to annoy some more house walling behind. Does need to plug this up when she can, but she's getting crossbows now, and that should be enough actually to take this fight. But has to be careful for this. Oh, it's just a ram. Never mind then. Don't have to be careful. Just go for it. Okay, seeing some damage being laid down here. No ballistics yet, so can only do so much unless Ofelia wants to commit. But LilT is streaming forward to these knights, and I think Roxy's not gonna approach the siege workshop, which is the right call because there might be a mangonel in there, but there isn't. There's just a ram, so it's a good scare tactic actually from Ofelia. second TC now coming up. So overall, the two teams are balanced in that sense, but Little T is still going for one TC eco, one Little TC eco. Town Patrol from Noelle. That is interesting. It's not something you see every day. Also, I actually didn't notice, but she actually went for 3 TCs. And with Vikings, that's going to be a very solid eco. She's not contributing a lot in terms of actual military. Just streaming knights back and forth over here, I guess, sure. Wait, they're gonna come over here, but the walls are up all the way, and she should be able to just house wall and maybe even stone wall behind them if she needs to. Yeah, Little T's over here, she gets that ram, and Roxy should now be free to move forward and just yeet all of these annoying skirmishers and stuff around. This has to be Auto Scout. Second TC coming up from LilTrouble, third coming up from Ofelia. So there is going to be a slight eco lead there. But right now, Lil T and Roxy do have more villagers. And depending on how well they can use these crossbows in particular, they might be able to very well keep that. Don't tell me there's a hole behind this table. Okay, thank God. So she'll know these are here, and hopefully... I think Ofelia thought that too, that there might have been a hole here, but no. It's this little greenish tree that's blocking the way. But yeah, she should be able to notice that she's making some knights, but she needs to block this. This palisade wall will go down now, and the knights will come in. And it's free reign to just go around here and start raiding all of this farm eco. This one line is open. Oh, please, please, quick wall, quick wall, quick wall, quick wall. Just stone wall. Ah! Oh no, they're just gonna pass. Oh, oh no. LilTrouble is busy here raiding, and there's getting some good raids in. Ophelia's trying to go into the full boom. 4 TCs, Wheelbarrow coming in now, and Noelle's picking up crossbow bodkin. Oh, but there goes Lil T's woodline. Oh, that's a disaster. I don't even know if she noticed that they went past here. She was so busy raiding, but it's... I mean, it's good raiding! They're gonna get into Ophelia's woodline here, too! A single spearman killing Kelt houses over here, by the way. And yet, gonna have to flee from this woodline, gonna have to go home. Lots of people on stone, so I think Ofelia realizes that she's in trouble with these raids. But she's gonna cause more trouble, I think. Right now, Ophelia's just trying to take down some farms. Roxy adding a 4th TC. Knights running around here. Ethiopian crossbows on the back here. Gonna take out some of these stone villagers. No ballistics yet. Oh no, she actually does have ballistics. My mistake. I'm gonna just swoop around here trying to find an inn. I mean, these stone walls are very awkward. She just needed to get the TC up. And these knights are still gonna be annoying. They do have chain barding now, so they're gonna last quite a bit under here. Especially when you account for the fact that Lil T doesn't actually have either fletching or bodkin arrow. But the fight is going on, she is losing some vills, and it's gonna pretty much equalize the score now, even pull ahead for Ofelia Noelle. They have the eco lead now, at least should have. But that is a considerable force of knights that are finally down. And she's forced to scramble up a watchtower in between her separate town centers just because the range isn't good enough if she just has town centers. I mean, she can be really annoying here, but there are 5 TCs now for Ofelia, so again, Boomer mode is very much engaged, but Lil T and Roxy take the score lead. Single knight here for here, just guarding the front. And Lil T's continuing to cause trouble here. He's gonna lose some knights, maybe another one. No, looks like she'll be fine. A watchtower goes down. Yeah, okay. LilTrouble is just going around here, making sure to clear up, making sure that Roxy can do her thing, get to a mass of arbalists, hopefully, and then just go for it. I mean, these buildings are actually kind of scary. There's still 2 stables, an archery range, a barracks, and yes, even a dock. Here and forward. Another watchtower. Does she have a university? She does. I think we're gonna see guard tower. I mean, Celts don't get bracer, but they do get stronghold for, I think it's 25% faster firing. It's something. You'll never see it, but it does help. Noelle's trying to help out Ofelia, sending some stone. And it's just gonna be reinforcements now. I mean, look. 2 watchtowers over here. This one doesn't go up. It's at 98%. What a doubt tower. Oh, but this villager could finish it. But I think Roxy should be aware of the fact that, like, she has a Saracen ally. She could... These are siege crossbows. And Noelle and Roxy are gonna go up to Imp around the same time here. The 2 archer players going in for it. LilT is just swooping up most of her knights here, getting some good raiding in here, but the crossbow mass from Noelle is starting to build up, and I mean, Viking Eco is scary. She's actually second last in terms of TCs. We have 2, 3, 4, 5 TCs. But these knights can continue to outrun. If they take a straight up fight, the knights should lose. And you have to be worried about LilT, because at some point soon enough, she's gonna have to start looking into transferring onto maybe Hussars, maybe Siege. Like, she can't stick to Knight. Like, not having Cavalier is such a big deal. I believe a Viking Cavalier beats a Saracen Knight. So it's a lot of a loss here, but she's getting some good disruption in. This still hasn't been walled up, and she can take down these small reinforcements for now. Thumbring coming in from the Vikings, or excuse me, from Ethiopians, and Ballistics coming in for Noelle's Vikings. 5th TC now for Roxy. She wants to make sure she can keep up this Arbalest production. She's 10 seconds away from Imp, Noelle is 15. Roxy does have an advantage, apart from just having better crossbows overall. She also has... She's getting Bracer right away, and yeah, she already has led her archer armor. Let's see, Noelle's an Imp, getting Bracer too. Chemistry's on the way for Roxy. Arbalest now for Noelle. Now we just need to see Arbalest. Yeah, there's Arbalest for Roxy. I mean, they're pretty much neck and neck in here, but you have to be careful for this big old boom. Guard towers are up and more are being created, so it's gonna be a lot more annoying to raid this now. Siege Workshop coming up here in the back. So I think we're starting to see the Celt switch again. Mid-castle and like late castle, early Imp is where Celts are the most awkward. They have to start looking into switching on to anything else than what they've been doing earlier. Because their knights won't hold up, their crossbows won't hold up. They have to start going for infantry and siege. Oh boy. Another good raid here from LilTrouble, getting rid of another woodline from Noelle. And I mean, she's gonna need those woodlines if she wants to keep up production. She's been forced off pretty much all of them right now. Like, yeah, LilTrouble loses 4 knights there. One's left to cause a little bit of annoyance. And a castle now going up, probably mainly for conscription. Pikemen are coming out too, as is ring archer armor. Chemistry almost in for Noelle, but she is lacking archer armor. I'm not sure if she has thumb ring. It kind of looked like she didn't, given the accuracy there, but I'm not sure. 6 TC from Ofelia, by the way. Immediately puts up some farms around that. Do you really need more TCs at this point? Like, I know I'm a pretty aggressive player as far as, like, eco versus aggression is concerned, but even then, 6 TCs seem a lot when you've already got so many vills. LilT and Ofelia are going up to Imp now, and here is Roxy laying devastation here on Noelle's outer eco. Now the big problem for them is that the LilT is at a pretty low actual vill count, can only do so much, but I mean if they can take fight here, they are under TC fire though, gotta be careful. These Saracen Knights, I mean they have contemplate barding. They have bloodlines. Oh, but she's taking a lot as she's maneuvering around here. I mean, this is a close fight. And I think with LilT's help here, she's gonna have to sacrifice a good amount of knights here. But I think it's gonna come out in their favor, and this is a lot of momentum suddenly built up. Just gotta be careful for Ophelia's counterattack on the other side. I mean, this is how you can see I've been talking about siege crossbows this entire time, and yeah, like, incidental fire on the TC led to this amount of HP loss. Oh, but she can take the hill. And it's gonna just start sniping a lot of, again, Woodland's getting hit. Castle here on the front and starting to build up a lot of siege. Some Vote Raiders coming out. Little T and Ofelia are in. A very ambitious guard tower here for Ofelia. I don't know if she's actually going to commit to it. Stonewall's coming out from Roxy as she's continuing to snipe stuff here. I mean, this TC might go down. It's not a huge deal when she's already boomed so much, but she is losing a lot. Like, she used to be ahead of Lil T, but now the roles are reversed. Again, we just need to see the switch from Ofelia and the switch from Lil T and see how that works out. These are two forward goals. They're now protected by a castle, but if there's a good counter push here, and Roxy doesn't lose too much of her army to enemy siege, well, then we can start talking again. So, it does look like Ofelia, being the boomer she is, has actually picked up masonry, which is helping slow down the rate at which these buildings are going down to crossbows. Some light cap being mixed in now, plate barding coming in. I think this is a very good switch from Lil T, but might need something more, because right now she doesn't really have a gold unit to go for. And I think at this point camels are no longer really a thing you want to go for. She's gonna have to go either just join in getting a bunch of... Oh. Okay. Yeah, just having some trouble with stuff and yeah, needing to pause, but thankfully we don't have to watch that. Roxy, although maybe that might have had an impact on the game, given on that stutter. But yeah, Roxy's starting to push forward here, taking down these buildings. Yeah, I think when it lags like this, it suggests that there was lag in game, because it's moving very strangely. Trebuchet forward now, gonna start trying to take down this castle, and I mean, Onager's in now, Capped Ram's on the way, Fura Celtica not in quite yet, but Siege Engineers is their stronghold. I mean, she's built enough towers to justify it, I think, at this point, but it is all to see. Plate Infantry Mail coming in now. She's got some Lil T Hussars coming through here. Not fully upgraded yet. Blast Furnace... Wait, what? No, okay, sorry, that's for Roxy. Yeah, still lacking Iron Casting and Blast Furnace, but it's probably gonna start working on that. But this is gonna start getting difficult to counter. Faster firing Onagers, with Siege Engineers, with Rams behind them. It's gonna start getting dangerous. Hussar raids coming in here. This is really good use from Lil T, but she might have to go back, because now we're getting about 35 Arbalists moving forward. And I don't think 5 Knights, 1 Hussar can actually deal with that. Oh, Ophelia's still considering moving forward, but is doing so very slowly. He's getting raided on these golds too. If Roxy doesn't notice this push, she's gonna be in some serious danger. Halberdier is interesting, right? Because you don't see cavalry from Celts and Vikings at this point, I think. Okay, that could have been a lot worse, but she is gonna have to retreat now. Just let the Halbs do their work. Takes down 1 Onager, I think that was. Another one down. Just 2 more to go, and she can actually go forward with her Arbals again. And I mean, there's a lot of stone going down into repairing this castle now. But on the other hand, Noelle's pushing forward, Arbals coming here, and the Siege Workshop. She wants to make this push stay. And I mean, no stone walls, no real military to speak of at home, no castles. This could be really, really dangerous for LilTrouble. She's actually in a lot of trouble, get it? I don't think anyone's ever made that joke. Gonna have to move over here to the other TC, but I mean, she can just, again, it's so open, she can just push wherever she wants to. Now Siege Ram coming in from Ofelia, and on the other hand, Capped Ram coming in from Noelle. And I think Roxy's picked up on this. She's starting to switch into Halbs just to have something to start taking out all of this siege. She doesn't want to do split dancing against multiple Celt Onagers. I mean, Fura Celtica is in now. Look at this disgusting amount of health. Good lord, 378. It's plus 40% from Fura Celtica. But the castle goes down. A lot of stone was wasted in defending it, and honestly, these siege weapons have done at most just delayed things. A castle's going up from LilTrouble here now. Might actually be able to defend, but there's still just an open path into her gold, into her stone, and right into most of her farming eco. That's dangerous. Ofelia pings here. She still hasn't deleted this foundation, which is very brave of her. I kind of want to see... I want to see Roxy start getting into her own siege. Because at some point, it's not going to be feasible for her to go halb v halb. Because Ofelia should have the better eco in the long run. And halb Arb is very... Yeah, okay, yeah, Heavy Scorpion. I was just gonna say, Heavy Scorpion is already coming in, and halb Arb is very vulnerable to just that, Heavy Scorpion. So, but if she mixes in her Bombard Cannons, maybe gets Torsion Engines, like, that's gonna be super good against both Viking Arbalists and anything that the Celts can make, really. Having a bit of a fight here, Noelle taking the high ground. See if that's enough to defeat the Ethiopian faster firing Arbs, and it's actually very close. Looks like Ethiopia is gonna win this one, especially with the help of some Saracen Hussars. Oh, we're seeing halb raids here. Most of Roxy's Arbs are away from her homeland now, and Ophelia's pushing forward with some Scorps, and Celt Scorps are really, really good, but important to note is that there's only 2 of them, and right now they could just be flooded by the helps. Yeah, as you can see, they're doing good damage here. And another key. Okay, so Ophelia's really committing to Celt Stronghold. I am amazed. Elite Vote Raider coming in now, so I'm gonna start looking for something to actually raid now, I think. Keep over here, by the way, to deny a very small wood line. But that might actually help in the long run. Keeps up over here now, denying stone. Some Hussars are gonna come in to neutralize that. Trade is already up and running from Roxy and LT, and I don't think there's even been... Yeah, no, there's no... There are markets up, but only the one for each of them. And that's not gonna do much. The push here is starting to work out, though. Like, that's a lot of Siege Ram HP to plow through with these Arbalists. I don't know what this mining camp is supposed to do, but I guess it's some strange variation of an outpost rush. Trebuchets coming in here from Roxy, but if all she has is Trebuchets and Arbalists, they're just gonna die to Siege Rams. You know, like, it helps to have a castle firing, but yeah, I think this one she's just gonna have to village her batter down. But Vote Raiders are coming in now to support that, and oh my god, castle going down from LilTrouble. There's a lot of Arbs here. We're seeing Elite Shotel from Roxy. I think those might die to Elite Vote Raiders, but in the right numbers, and while you can produce them very, very quickly, they can be very useful. So, LilTrouble is trying to hold on here, starting to build siege workshops. Now, Saracens do get, I think the only thing they're missing is Heavy Scorp. It's either Heavy Scorp or Siege Ram. They have Bombard Cannons and they even have Siege Onager. We'll see what she actually picks here. I mean, Onager would make sense, even if you probably don't upgrade to Siege Onager. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, okay. Onager upgrades coming in for this forward Siege Workshop, which is a little bit dangerous, but hey, if it works. And Noelle, or excuse me, Roxy is holding really well against Ofelia. Like, again, she's just sending these Scorpions piecemeal right now. And if this carries on long enough, if this push keeps on going, she's gonna lose these golds. And she pretty much has no other gold on the map to cut right now. Markets are starting to go up. Yeah, they're gonna start prepping for that. Town Patrol also coming in from Ofelia, so I guess this team kind of thinks alike, doesn't it? No, okay, Bombard Cannon coming in now, and Onager from this Siege Workshop. But yeah, the Siege Workshop where the Onager was researched is finally gonna get battered down by Siege Rams, which is fair. Shuttles are starting to come in here. They should do very well against Halbs, should do very well against Siege, but have to be careful because they're so squishy, only 50 HP. I mean, they have less than a common Halberdier. 2 DCs from LilTrouble coming in here in the back. I mean, she did lose one, and is now kind of just barely holding, as Noelle has to pull her Arbalest back to deal with this Arbalest raid. I mean, again, Siege Archers! Look at this, they're doing 5 a hit. Could help if she got Masonry, but we'll see if she actually can afford it. Now, it did distract her from the front line, though, and some of these are gonna get forward. Again, only one Scorpion isn't gonna do too much if it's not very, very dearly protected. And you have to just prevent these Siege Rams from doing too much. Yeah. Little T trying to just get some hussar raids coming in here. Bombard cannon is doing... I mean, this is a really good comp actually. Like, you have bombard cannons against the big castles. You have your own onagers to flatten arbalests and siege ram, and then you just go for hussars to clean up anything that's left. And Roxy's holding here. She has this nice core of arbalests, and they're offering enough to actually be super useful against this hound. Siege workshops are now going up for Roxy, so we might see that switch after all. And oh, we have to be so careful here. These are 35 arbalests up against 2 onagers and some other siege. And yeah, I think Noelle was just like, maybe I can sneak in, and no, Lil T was paying attention. She sees it and she says, you know, if you want to try, I'm happy to get rid of 35 arbalests for you. Roxy is very slowly pushing out, getting rid of this mining camp, getting rid of this lumber camp, and taking down said people on it. I would like to see them... Do they know it's there, is the question. Oh my god, really? Oh, that's really unlucky. They could definitely do their due diligence in scouting a little bit more, but it is really unfortunate that they just barely missed that. And the hussar raids are coming forward here. And, I mean, you can't really build a castle if you don't have your own way of dealing with these bombard cannons. They're just gonna slowly kill you, and Ophelia's coming for a visit here, but he's gonna get blocked out, and I think those are just gonna go down, yeah. Heavy Scorpion still seeming to be Ophelia's idea for how to win this, but not quite coming out in enough numbers quite yet. Trade is up for Ophelia and Noelle, although I think they're still lacking Caravan. Onagers coming in, bombarding this castle, and I mean, you don't see onagers against castles, but when the castles are, or is not quite built yet, yeah, it's actually a pretty good counter. Siege onagers coming in now! She only has 2 of them, actually. More bombard cannons being built, another 3 here at home. And oh my god, Noelle is desperate. She's building Viking stables, and these are some of the worst light cav in the game. I think Korean hussars might be the only one that's actually worse, but if you do need to kill siege, this is the way to go. It's kind of come down here on the front line. I don't think either side is willing to really engage. I would like to see just send forward his shoulders to scout what's going on, but I can understand the hesitance for sure. Yeah, I wonder if the siege onager might be a little bit cocky. She might cancel that. Still has plenty of time to do so. It's gonna lose some trebuchets here in the front. Ophelia taking them away from Roxy, but in turn should lose heavy scorps here, and the infantry is just melting under arbalest fire. Another castle coming up might allow her to go for some more siege, and here's siege ram. That's gonna do a lot of good work. And Ophelia actually got to this gold. Oh, and I think that... Does she know? Oh, they don't quite know about the trade route, but it's really uncomfortably close. Oh, these Viking light cav. I hate saying those words out loud, but they might actually be able to get in here and start raiding. That could be such a huge detriment to Roxy and Lilty. But I mean, they are still slowly pushing forward here. They have to go back now, but once the arbalists are forward again, it should just absolutely annihilate this infantry line. Have enough halbs, just providing a meat shield. That's good. Viking light cav are starting to raid, and we're seeing LilTrouble setting up her barracks here. Saracens don't get halb. That is a problem, but Saracen pike should still be enough to deal with Viking light cav. Pretty convincingly, even, I would say. Roxy setting up another TC here, actually kind of condemning some of LilTrouble's trade cards to death, as well as some of her own. But might actually, in the long run, help defend that spot. Oh, that's a good hit from an onager. Another few halbs go down, but again, I think you're pretty okay with losing halbs to take out siege weapons. Oh boy, this is getting close, but there's a re-push here from Noelle. She's moving forward, but look at these siege onagers! Do they have siege engineers? They don't have siege engineers. Saracens do get siege engineers. I'm really sorry for the late game lag here, but oh my god. Oh, misses there, but ooh. That's some losses. Oh, just headshotting those. They take down one siege archer, but here come the hussars, and they're just gonna be like, hey, you give it a good shot, and we're now gonna annihilate the rest of you. Fair enough, fair enough. Still would like to see Lil T pick up their attack upgrades. Hussars benefit a lot from it. Castle up here should prevent definitely a lot of the raiding, but what is this? Oh my god, Ofelia just slammed down a stone gate and is just gonna smash up so many barracks and just raided the trade. But is it enough to fight? Oh, these siege rams might actually make it. Never mind, okay. Yeah, melee damage from these is enough to take them down. Still gonna lose a few siege archers to these Viking light cav. Yeah. Ophelia's just snuck around here too to just get gold wherever she can. Noelle's trying here. She probably deleted his palisade walls, but it's a small thing. And Ofelia now, god, I mean, this is scary, right? Like, it's not going to be easy to clear this up. She can just produce so many halberdiers and delay any attempt at actually crushing this little weird outpost pass they've set up. But at the same time, while they're raiding trade, she's losing so much on the front here. I don't know if she can actually muster up enough here. Like, raiding trade is super good, but is it enough? This monster looks like it's going to go down, and it's got 3 relics in it, so that's actually its own gold loss for Ofelia. And LilTrouble is still raiding in here. I mean, they're going to take down some good amounts of trade from the enemy too. Noelle now picking up iron casting, so probably trying to improve her own light cav. Yeah, I mean, they're not particularly cool anyway. A castle being scrambled up here. If Ofelia notices this, I think she has enough halberdiers and enough halberdier production to actually deny it. Roxy could garrison right here and actually help take it down. But if this castle goes up, there's going to be shovel spam from here. I think she needs to deal with this though, because that's a lot of halbs and it's a lot of lost trade. And here's the counter push, Viking light cav. I mean, if this keeps up, Lil T will definitely dominate this front if it's just cav v cav. Castle does go up, so we should be able to see a lot of shelters coming out now. But it's a lot of places to pay attention to right now for Roxy. And there's a siege ram. Oh my god, this castle might actually go down. Elite shuttles are starting to come out. One or two shuttles will die to this amount of halb. Oh. Game did not like that. But on the flip side, here Roxy is taking down so much eco from Ofelia. It looks like this is not gonna stay up. I mean, it's so hard to get rid of a killed siege ram. They have so much HP. I think they're only second to war elephants and maybe like Vietnamese battle elephants. I'm not sure. Oh dear. I mean, castles are starting to go down here. Ethiopian siege ram doing their work. Relics are now out. Could probably take down this onager with siege ram of her own. Yep, there it goes. Bonk. But this castle is down, and that means this is still unthreatened. Oh my god. That's gonna be such a big deal. Yeah, and now LilTrouble is trying to clear this out, trying to give Roxy her breathing room. But she's organizing her own defense. She's cleared up. She lost a castle, she lost a town center, almost lost another one. But she's cleared it up. These stronghold keeps probably helping, genuinely. But how much does she have against these arbalists? And now elite road raiders are coming in. They've got plate mail and everything. They should be able to actually kill them in small numbers. Road raiders can do well against archers. Men-at-arms and supplies come in at the exact time Roxy and LilTrouble call GG. What an omen of future victory. Supplies and men-at-arms at 1 hour 80 minutes in. Holy moly, what a game. That's such a YOLO move, but it worked so well. Like, normally you would just see one or the other, just send some units in here. No, that was not enough for Ofelia. She puts up a mace and just builds a bunch of barracks and spams halbs. That was really impressive. And yet they're actually going to start stonewalling in their own trade. Yeah, that's a hell of a move for sure. Wow. Very well done by Ofelia Noelle, and they will be the winners of the second semifinals. Gonna be moving on to the grand finals up against, spoilers, in 3-1, Ning and Dragon. And I mean, if this is the quality of game we're gonna get, I am more than pleased. I am very much more than pleased. It will be taking place on the April/May patch, so maybe we'll see Sicilians, maybe we'll see Burgundians. Have not seen them here, and yes, they are packaged together, by the way, in case you're curious. But yeah, it was kind of a heartbreak for Roxy and LilTrouble. They left this gap. They were doing so well, but they left this gap. Ofelia saw the gold and was like, hey, I'll take that. And then from there, saw the trade and just got in there and started messing things up. Still, super well played from both of them, and I'm really happy to have gotten to... Okay, what is with this horse collar? Roxy! You're not supposed to learn from Nikov. Sometimes when I watch other people play Age of Empires, I feel like I'm eco-obsessed. Because, like, I'm pretty sure my average heavy plow timing is, like, here. There was a lot of stressful stuff pretty much throughout the entirety of that game, so I can understand wanting or needing to focus on other stuff. But hot damn, that's a late horse collar. She never got heavy plow, by the way. That hurts. Do we have anything else fun to note? Is there no... Wait, did LilTrouble never get Bowsaw? Or maybe it's... Okay, it's probably just behind this one. Bowsaw here, yeah. Bowsaw here. Never heavy plow. Maybe heavy plow is behind here? I don't know. Maybe we're spending a little bit of time looking at that. Really, even KD and everything. Oh, damn. Roxy erased a lot of buildings, though. Really impressive play, and I mean, I think Ofelia Noelle would have lost that if they didn't find that one hole, just that one little spot where they could attack. Not a lot of castles, interestingly, I will say that. There was some castle fighting on the left side, but it actually stopped pretty quickly. But yeah, there you have it. There we have our second grand finalists. So I hope you will all join me for that one. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you then.